What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to review Port Adelaide's 2017 AFL season. I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I thought of the year, positives, negatives, and everything in between. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Well, Port fans, 2017, another AFL season is done. It's tough to think. It's tough to take in, really, because just a few months ago we got started with a brilliant win against the Sydney Swans at the SCG, where our hope was lifted after what we thought could be a very dull 2017. That followed by a good win against Fremantle and obviously the showdown loss. It was obviously an up and down year. We ended up 14 wins, 8 losses, and obviously making the finals in 5th position, playing West Coast at the Adelaide Oval. Where unfortunately we went down by 2 points in a odd situation that usually never happens in extra time. So, but yeah, it's, for me, this year's been an overall positive. I'd say we've developed some great kids. We've made finals, as Koshi put on the club earlier in the year, and you know we've got a bright future ahead. So it's a wonderful time, I think, to be at Port Adelaide at the moment. Obviously, we've got some issues going on off field, but we will get into that, you know, in later down the track when it becomes clearer to see exactly what is happening, what is the case, and what we're going to look forward to. But yeah, so with this review, we're going to basically go through the positives, go through the negatives, and just pinpoint some key moments throughout the year that helped our season become what it was. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe if you are new. Obviously, if you're a Port fan, subscribe. If you're any other fan watching this, yeah, subscribe. Why not? You know, I don't do much else. Just saying. But yeah, let's get straight into the positives of 2017. So some positives to come out of 2017. More positives than negatives, I would say. We've really improved across all areas of the board. One key positive I wanted to point out first of all, and just really pinpoint exactly what we've been doing and what's really helped us over the course of the year, I think, is our improved defence. Our whole defence group is not really the back six. It's probably a few key players more than anything that have really stepped up this year. We've really seen improvements from Jonas in his leadership. Dougal Howard coming in late in the year has really proven that he's a mainstay in the team now. He's really a best 22 type player and in the defence, where we thought possibly down forward, but he has proven himself to be a defensive player, which is good. We need another tool, so that really helps us along. Probably the biggest thing with our defence has been probably being short in terms of height. We haven't been the tallest, and that's what, as I said, Dougal giving us a bit of height down there, which is good for our future as well. He's only played 10 games, but it feels like he's been there forever. He's just been that brilliant on field, so he's going to be a star, Dougal. Tom Cleary is another one that's really improved this year, playing every single game, has just been able to continually be positive in terms of playing so well, being on the attack, using his skill, really being that defensive player that we need, and he's a real key player for us now, which is essential for us going ahead in the near future. Obviously, Tom Jones has been another one, as I said before. His leadership skills down back has been unreal. Unfortunately for Homshi, it's been quite tough through injury. Logan Austin hasn't really broken into the side. All these players we've seen over the last year or two in our struggling years have sort of have fallen away a bit because of these new talent. And obviously we lost Dougal last year for his ACL, but now we've discovered some new players. We've discovered a breed of young players that's really helping, and that's a good segue into the next positive, which is developing the youth. Houston, Howard, Sam Powell-Pepper, Johnson, Marshall even come into the side. And we've just seen these young kids develop over 1 year, and they've been absolutely sensational. And especially Houston and Sam Powell-Pepper, who obviously rising star nominees, just breakout years for them. And it was good to see good old Dan Houston get his recognition, because he's been just so consistent throughout the year, an elite kick, and will definitely be a name star throughout the years to come. He is just so calm under pressure, takes his time, pinpoints the kick, and he's just unreal to be to have him on our side, which is great. And obviously, as I said before, Dougal Howard playing in defence really came alive in those last 5 games, and he can really hold his head high, because he's just been he's had a real impact on the side in this short period of time, which is great for the young fella. So good on you, Dougal Howard. It's sensational to see. And obviously Sam Powell-Pepper, a breakout first year. Don't argue with me with the fact that he deserved to win the NAB Rising Star Award. He was robbed, but that's another story for another time, and I won't mention it. The one other thing that's probably the biggest positive of the year I wanted to mention was the fact that we made finals. Making finals was crucial this year, and people can argue that, you know, we didn't really beat anyone, and, you know, we weren't really there. We were just making up the numbers. In a way, yes, but in a way as well, you see we've improved our defence. Second or third best defence in the league in terms of scores. Our pressure down back, our pressure up forward has been enormous this year as well. We've improved our structure in a sense where we strangle a side and then we almost break away. It's just been that type of game from us, and Kenny's really gotten behind the boys and really said that, you know, we have to do this in certain ways, or, you know, we won't really make an impact on the scoreboard, and we've done that sensationally well. Obviously, our goal kicking hasn't been the best, but you know, we've had most inside 50s, score to inside 50 ratios, I think, like every second time. So our scoring's there. We just need to put a little bit more scoreboard pressure on when it comes to kicking the goals. Making finals is crucial, as Koshi said at the beginning of the year, and we've proven that, and that's fantastic from the club, and it improves us for next year, which is good. I think we're ready again. Back in finals, where Port Adelaide belongs, back in the finals. So that's all really have to say. Positives for 2017. There's probably so many more I've forgotten that I forgot to write down as well. But overall, 2017 has been a pretty positive year, and, you know, having 60,000 members again. The crowds haven't been the best, but our turnouts have been pretty good. And I'd say the whole China experience as well was probably another positive that we've had, expanding outside of the fishbowl that is Adelaide. So well done to the club, and well done to everyone involved for the Shanghai 2017 game against Gold Coast. That was probably the biggest positive, was that being so successful, winning that game. It was crucial to our year, and we proved to everyone that was capable of pulling it off, and we did it successfully. So well done to the club. Unfortunately, whenever positives come along, there's always some negatives to take away from a year as well, and probably the biggest one for us this year was letting games slip away. The close games especially. Geelong, Adelaide in the first showdown, GWS, West Coast in round 7 and in the final. There's been so many opportunities we've had that we just didn't take. Richmond was another. And they were just opportunities we needed to take, and we didn't take them, and that's probably the biggest negative for this year. Beating the top teams. We only beat West Coast and Sydney. 2 out of 8. You know, and we played West Coast twice. Played Adelaide twice. Didn't beat them either time. Losing both showdowns is very difficult for a year, for a Port fan anyway. And I just think maybe that, you know, maybe it was more mentally than it was, you know, physically. Kicking the goals in front of goal, almost every time we missed a set shot. how does that happen? It isn't good enough from the club and from the players, and I think that's more mental than it is physical in a way, because you take your time for a set shot, you take your time to pick a target, you take your time kicking for goal in general. On the run's probably better for most players in our side, and that's probably not the greatest thing that we need. We need to really improve goal kicking. It's just, I've said it all year. Goal kicking wins matches. And if you don't kick straight, you lose matches. And what happened? Too many times this year, we missed opportunities that we should have taken. We should have won those certain games. We should have played in the top 4. And we quite possibly could be still playing in the final series now. Or, in 2017 in general, we should still be probably in there. I'd say we're very much good enough, but I think Port Adelaide is a team that pretty much the only way can lose is when Port Adelaide beats itself, and that's the mental game. That's all you have. We know we've got the talent. We know we've got the skill to do so. We've got the right game plan, because if it wasn't the right game plan, we wouldn't be in the situation where we have one of the best defences in the league and one of the best attacking sides in the game as well. You can't tell me that that's part of, the players, the coaching staff, because they've implemented that game style and it's worked a treat. For the most part, it's just the players, execution. And I'm not trying to say that we should blame certain players or certain types, because in the end, you can play the blame game, play the blame game, and it's just not going to work out, because at the end of the day, we're out. We're done. It was basically a failed season. We all know we want to win premierships, and the way we went out losing the final is just one big negative itself, and it pretty much summed up our 2017. Not kicking straight, not taking the opportunities, and we ended up, unfortunately, bowing out of this year's final series. But the main thing is, there's always next year. Unfortunately, there's a big wait until next year. But then again, it's just something that you take the negatives and you take the positives and you just keep learning. And with a young team that we have so much upside, so much talent that we can produce. We've got players who can come into the side. We can really attack the free agency period this year. Bring in a key midfielder, probably another tall forward if we can. We've so much upside compared to the downside. It's just key moments this year. We just didn't take the opportunities that we had, and unfortunately, it ended up the way it was. Which, for us Port fans, isn't the best result, but we know we've got what we have, and it's really promising and really exciting to see what we can produce, not just next year, but for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We've got plenty of skill, we've got plenty of talent to go a long way in future years to come. Positives and negatives are done. It's time to reminisce. Let's take ourselves back. This is the best win of 2017, and it was none other than Port Adelaide versus St Kilda, round 19, 2017, where Robbie Gray kicked the winning goal against St Kilda in the dying stages. It was just a phenomenal game to be part of in struggling conditions, as I almost fall over then in my own room. I'm standing right here and I nearly fall over. But anyway, enough about me. That was probably the best game I've ever witnessed live. That was probably the best game I've ever, been part of. Just in general, it's just the old Port Adelaide in a way would have died out. We'd have probably let another 2, 3 goals in. We'd have lost by 3 or 4 goals, and it would have just been another failed game. But the mentality of the players can continually push when there's your back's against the wall, and Jared Pollock can take a big pat on the back for that, because he set up basically both goals in terms of his play around the ground. He was sensational. Aaron Young's crucial goal late in the last quarter, the Hoff, his crucial attack on the ball, obviously Patrick Ryder's tap over the back. It was just like, just gorgeous. It was like watching, when you watch slow motion and you just see how perfect the movement is. That's how good Paddy's was. Just perfect. Amazing. And obviously Robbie's finish to top it off. Probably was a game that we should have won anyway, but in those circumstances, that's a game we should be proud of. And that's probably the best win of 2017 is the St Kilda game at Adelaide Oval by 2 points against the Saints. So I'll do a little player review later on down the track, but this is my best player of 2017 in my eyes for the impact on games, the way he played the game, and certainly in crucial moments, who stood up. And I think most people agree with me. There's so many players that can take a pat on the back for their great efforts this year. Most of them can. But this one player in particular, after being suspended for a full year of football, to come back and be in the All-Australian side, become the best ruckman in the league, and really take his game to another level, Patrick Ryder. Best player for me in terms of impacting games, crucial moments, and he was just an all-round leader in the middle, and he brought Port Adelaide to where he was, and without him I don't think we would have been anywhere near where we did, and because he's just so important to our side, and I think there's no one else like Paddy Ryder, and he is probably our best player. Well, probably not best, but most important, I'd say. But for me, this year he's been my best player. Overall, you'll see differently when I do a little player review that, votes might change. It might be someone else. But in a sense, for me, definitely, it has to be Paddy Ryder, who is the best player at Port Adelaide at this moment. So, we've done the positives, we've done the negatives, we've done the roundup, we've got best win, the best player, that's all done. Now for the rating of 2017. As a whole, positives outweigh the negatives, which is great. We bet the teams that we should have, we did it comfortably, didn't quite make the impact in finals that we should have, but should haves, would haves and could haves don't change the past. So, for me, it might be a bit generous, but I think from 2015 to 2016, the improvement we've seen, and especially the most important thing is the fact that we proved so many people wrong, especially all the so-called experts of the game, to prove them that we were supposed to finish basically in the bottom four, for us to finish just a game outside the top four, finish fifth, home final. That's a bloody improvement for me, and all the haters can shove it up there, you know what, because our year has been pretty good, I'd say. Overall, in general, pretty good. So, for me, the rating for 2017 is 7.5 out of 10. Alright, so let's finish off on a keynote. A must for 2018, finish this sentence. So, a must for 2018 is a premiership. Nah, I can't really put that much expectation on it. I can't. Because if I put too much, then I'll get disappointed even more if we don't even do it. For me, I'd say definitely top four has to be the next step for us. That will play a crucial part to next year to going on towards that premiership that we need, or want, or must have. It's like an addiction, isn't it? It's just like, oh my God, I need that cup. I know, for all us Port fans, all of our young Port fans that haven't witnessed a premiership, and I know so many of you subscribe to this channel, and haven't witnessed a premiership yet. I was only 7 when I witnessed my first Port Adelaide premiership. It was the only premiership, obviously, in 2004. So, it's good, but I want to witness one now. I want to witness one. I know, then I see it for myself, and it'll be great. That's it. But top four is the main thing for me, and I think if we can do that, we can make some damage in next year's final series. Well, thank you very much, Port fans, for watching my season review for 2017. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought of this year, 2017 in general, from a personal level for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give me your rating for 2017. Really want to hear what you guys think. We're tracking on to 300 subscribers, which, once again, I can't thank you guys enough. I will have to do something for that, just for a personal thank you, because it's just amazing. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, press the button. Just do it. Go on. I dare you. So, yeah. Anyway, 2017 is done. 2018 is a must. Keep an eye on the channel. We've got plenty more things to come. My name is Anthony, and obviously, go the power!